the Bob Mills Weather Center, Oklahoma weather expert, Cassie Heiter.
Hopefully you had a chance to enjoy your Memorial Day and dodge some raindrops as well.
Exactly. I've been bothering Cassie so much for the last couple of weeks. Like, is it gonna, what's gonna happen today? And she's just like,
it's kind of the same old story.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're just kind of in that pattern right now, except the chances are starting to look greater by the time we get into Thursday, Friday, and then into the following weekend.
All right.
So yeah, our storm trackers were out today because we did have some storms, and there were a couple of isolated severe storms. Now, they didn't last very long. You can see Val and Amy Castor, Jeremy Carter, they were all out this afternoon and early evening, and he did have some up to nickel-sized hail, and at times, I mean, this storm was looking pretty ominous. It had a pretty nice lowering on it. Did not produce any funnel, no tornado, but at times it had a little bit of brief rotation. Val did point that out, and that was near Purnell, so we're talking south and west of Wynnewood. But yeah, some heavy rain at times, and at times it was just so much rain. You can see some lowering clouds there, a little bit of scud, but that's about it. Again, no tornadoes out there today, and certainly wasn't expecting any tornadoes. Let's go to Links 1. I'm going to show you kind of what happened here. So we've had storms for the past several days, right? Well, started late last night, so I'm just going to look at the past 24 hours because some of the storms from this morning, that's where a lot of that rain came from. We did have a couple of isolated showers earlier today, and then later this afternoon and evening, we had some clusters of storms that started to develop in parts of the metro and areas just to the south and southeast. In fact, so much rain in a very short period of time that we did have several flood advisories at one point. And so right around it, really all across Pontotoc County, we had all kinds of storms, anywhere from 2 to 2.5 to 3 inches. And then west of Wynnewood, so even really west of Elmore City, and that's where that storm was that Val and Amy Castor were on. It produced anywhere from 3.5 to almost 4.5 inches west of I-35. But yeah, here were the storms earlier today. A lot of that is now gone. Next and Live, pretty quiet for now, but we're just kind of watching this one lone storm that's crossing the Red River. It's certainly starting to weaken. All the lightning's gone, the hail course coming down as it moves north towards Temple. So temperatures today, because we did have a little bit of rain and certainly quite a bit of cloud cover earlier today, we only got in the upper 70s, normal's 83, but we got in the low to mid 80s out to the west and also lots of mid 80s off to the east. Right now, the Star National Cowboy Museum camera, part of our Lucky Star Sky Cam network, partly cloudy, still warm, 68 degrees, a southeast wind at 6 miles an hour, dew points in the mid 60s, low 70s in the northwest, upper 60s really here in the metro, and still some low to mid 70s in eastern Oklahoma with that east to southeast wind between about 5 to as much as around 15 or so. The wind's going to stay pretty light overnight tonight. And again, just with the heating of the day, we get the storms that kind of come alive, and then later in the evening, a lot of that starts to go away, and then we wait for some more storms to eventually arrive off from the west and make their way across the state the next day. So overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, just a slight chance of rain in the far southeast. Temperatures drop down into the upper 50s and low to mid 60s down to the south. Tomorrow afternoon, temperatures should be able to make it into the 80s here in Oklahoma City. I think that chance of rain is going to be a little bit lower, taking it down to about 10% and 20 to 30 off to the east, but watching for another chance of storms out west, so out in the panhandle, that chance is going to be a little bit higher. Tomorrow night and Wednesday morning, going to watch for the chance of more storms coming out of Kansas, and it looks like they're going to kind of try to ride the Oklahoma and Texas border, moving all the way down to the south, and just a slight chance any of that does make it into Oklahoma City by morning. Wednesday afternoon, we're going to be back in the low to mid 80s, upper 80s down in Durant, which is a slight chance of rain and storms all across the board. I think the panhandle does have a little bit higher chance once again by Wednesday afternoon and evening. Thursday, taking it down to about 80 degrees in Oklahoma City, and look upper 70s in Woodward, upper 70s in Clinton, 81 in Alva, 79 degrees in Enid. The reason being, well, the storm chances are going to be a lot more likely in north central, northwestern Oklahoma, but right now still going with about a 60% chance in Oklahoma City, so some scattered showers and storms, but I think that chance will lessen the farther south and east that you go. And here's the thing, as we get closer to the weekend, those storm chances, they do increase, especially Saturday and into Sunday, but next week it's starting to look drier, but that also means it's starting to look a little hotter. We'll be right back.